we're going to shift to basically one question for 10 minutes for strategic planning. So let's get a shift and get yourself a drink, stretch for a second, and then we're going to have a 10-minute brainstorming session for one of the questions in the back of our agenda. Okay. All right, we're going to do question 2, you guys on Zoom, worker satisfaction after automation adoption. Setting it for 11 minutes. Worker satisfaction after automation adoption. Marguerite, I'm going to let you take it over for the second question. All right, we're going to have a brainstorming session. Marguerite, you guys take a seat. Come on. We're going to take, give you guys a couple of shots here. I'm going to be writing. Billy, yeah, no, Billy's going to give people the mic in between here. Can you come in and give people the mic in here? We're going to do the second question, which is worker satisfaction after automation adoption. Discuss third-party evaluations of worker satisfaction and compare and contrast worker environments and decision-making for automating various tasks. If you, I'm going to turn it over to Margarita. She's going to lead it, and I'm going to write some things on the paper along with Amy and Chris Marble.
In this next year, we've been focusing a lot on the grower, right? Adoption, developing of technologies. We're transitioning to looking at the worker's perspective. Last year, 2 nurseries that are not here, they said that they were contracting third parties and they were already conducting surveys with their workers to assess worker satisfaction or trying to get feedback from their workers. So the first question I ask is simple. Do any of the nurseries here are actually contracting a third party to actually do these worker surveys? Or are you actually conducting surveys yourself to assess worker satisfaction or workers' feedback?
Bailey's does a third party. Maybe not yearly, but yearly or every other year, we do have an employee survey to determine satisfaction. I don't know of it. I'm not. Okay. I'm not involved in that, but we do. Yes.
And then, will you be willing to share, not necessarily the result, because I know this is what we struggle with. We're going to develop our own instrument, but we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Mm-hmm. If you guys are already doing some of that, not necessarily related to automation, it will be interesting for us to know what questions are you asking and what do you care about?
That's a good question. It's hard for me to answer. It's been a while since I've done the survey. Like I said, I'm not on the side of it where I know the answers that we got from the survey, but it's very much employee satisfaction with, how they feel they're treating them, and not so much automation, but there's probably some questions in there about how strenuous the work is, that kind of stuff. So it sort of ties into that.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Just to reflect, anybody else that is conducting worker surveys? Let me follow up on that. If you are not conducting, but you wanted to conduct one, what kind of questions you would like to ask that are more related to how workers perceive maybe productivity, wellness, satisfaction? What kind of questions you care about from the worker's perspective and you would like to ask?
Okay, I'm not a grower, so I don't know if this counts, but I would want to know if my employees feel comfortable to share ideas and not be embarrassed and feel free to come up with ideas on their own.
And that's a very good question. I think about, again, me being new to this industry, the more I visit nursery, the more I see they found their solutions inside. They customize their own solutions, and some of the solutions might come from their own employees if they let them speak up. Is that where your comment is coming from? Okay. Any other, what would you like to know? Remember, we are the ones conducting the research. We get the money to actually conduct the research. You don't have to put that money down, right? We are putting the money down. So what would you like to know as we move into this third year?
I'm actually curious to know the sentiment around the workers for the automation solutions? You know, do they welcome it? Do they resist it? Are they scared of it because it might replace job? Or are they welcoming it because it helps with their work? Yeah, just curious about that.
Yeah, curiosity about like, if they see a new piece of equipment, does that mean that I have my days? I have to count my days in this nursery because I might be replaced by the automation equipment. Is that what you're getting at? Okay, good point. Brian, I know you have a good, we have some videos of your workers talking about it, right? Are there any things that maybe you're already addressing that, but are there any things that you would like to be captured? We develop an instrument that you can apply in your nursery. What kind of things you would like to know from your workers?
Well, they've had some very good comments here and I agree with all those. That's okay.
He's over.
The important thing is that that the people in your nursery need to feel heard. And you've touched on this with a couple other comments. And they also need to and we have tried to explain in many ways that automation doesn't take away your job. It just makes your job more effective. And we can't give you a raise if we're not more effective. I take great pride in the fact that a lot of our H2A and other workers that are at our company have a soccer field at the nursery. If they were treated like crap and doing very difficult manual tasks, they wouldn't have the energy left at the end of the day to want to play soccer. And that's quite important to me. And that's why none of our folks ever even take their clothes home when they leave, because they come back and they know they're coming back to the very same bedroom they left. And there's no reason. So the attitude of the company is very critical to go ahead and make sure that people have overall a very welcoming and positive attitude towards technology. They'd much rather see a machine that pulls weeds than to show you a stack of brand new hose arrived to hoe plants. I guarantee it. So that's all.
That's excellent. I love your comment about, yeah, well, I'm Colombian, so I care about soccer. And that's what working with H2A workers, like having the energy so they can actually play a game. Like, I haven't thought about that, but that's a very good comment.
It helps not only, it just that they're positive enough to want to play.
So it's basically automation being part of that positive environment that allows them to enjoy more when they have the free time to actually do things.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder.
That
Could question be for that fact, do you feel like this firm is trying to make your life better by adopting? Think that they think of that when they're making a decision for automation, trying to make their worker life better. Do you think your firm thinks about that? You're asking the employee that. Do you think that's your well-being is taken into consideration? For example, when we saw some nurseries in Germany, they do a lot of work indoors. They'll use their truck forks. They'll go out and get the plants, bring them inside, they'll prune them, put them on the buffering table, take them and bring them back outside so you don't have to work outside and help. So that they're thinking of their employees not having to do those things, only doing it outside.
another comment here.
Thank you. I thought it was interesting when you kind of mentioned the fear of automation and that it could replace jobs. So I think the questions are very different when it's kind of pre-automation and post, right? So kind of the fear, the uncertainty of what does that mean for my job versus seeing it in action and kind of knowing how it does improve, your job day to day and make things easier. So it was I think very different conversations and questions in those.
That's an excellent comment. I'm thinking about Bill Jones is not here, but he's from Carolina, Native Nursery. And I had the opportunity to talk to some of, also I have the advantage of being fluent in Spanish. So I just walk in, and some of the ladies were there working that were there before the potting machine and after the potting machine. And it was, they used to do it with a wagon that you had you put the container and then you fill the container and then you carry it. And so they were telling me, it's like, it will be interesting. And then you just gave me an idea. It's like going to the nurseries that have automate, but not all the tasks, and then ask workers before, and then going to the ones that they have done it and compare that. That's an excellent comment. Thank you. Another comment here.
I was just going to add, in addition to what he said, was something that Joseph did with our employees was he took them to places that had already automated, and that was a brilliant move because it alleviated a lot of that fear and it got more buy-in when they saw automation in action.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
You ever think about having an automation tour where you take the people that
The workers.
not either workers or the owners that are not automated and plan a tour of nurseries that are?
Yeah.
So that was the reasoning behind the German nursery automation tour. So we took 18 growers and manufacturers. We took them to Germany so we could see automation in action in a place that's very simple, and try to normalize the two environments and the pressures, and so they could see that. But they weren't the people that we took weren't people who weren't automating. They were people that we knew were about to or were very interested in it, because we're seeding all of their regions with this type of automation thinking, that then the growers that are watching them in that area will perhaps adopt some of the things that they adopt the next 5 years. That's the only thing you can do. Like, we can work with the innovators, bring them somewhere, and let the natural nursery system, social system, filter out all of that effort. That's
But
actually what
Anthony, I'm thinking about, like, following on that comment. Like, of course, you have to take the decision makers to actually help them make those decisions. But from the workers' perspective, I mean, you reduce that uncertainty when you hear another worker. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, of course, we have to focus on the decision makers, but I bet if I'm a worker and I hear other worker, how their life changed after, it's probably not that they need the job or they want the job, but it will probably reduce that uncertainty, as we focus on workers.
yes.
Not that we're going to take all the workers, but like creating those videos in Spanish, because we focus on English speaking videos, but how about Spanish videos that focus on that?
I get that. Well, in the professional setting, like university environment, you choose your job as a professor based on the tools available to you.
Mhm.
And you look at the tools available to you and you say, this university has these, I can use it to do a better job. I'm an engineer.
Mhm.
In my world, the companies who have a better tool are the ones people apply to. They may pay less money, but because the tools. Same thing with you guys. That's something you can ask the workers. So you got to do it. If you have the tool, can you do it right? And then everybody complains in this industry about lack of people. I don't know if anybody talks to people who leave. Why did you leave? Is there a survey on that?
Mhm.
I mean, in professional setting, if you leave your
If there is an
university,
exit survey.
there is an exit question. In my job, everywhere I worked for someone, till I didn't, and every time I leave, they ask me why you're leaving, right?
Yeah.
But in my world, people go to a place with better tools, even maybe less money, because they know they can have a better life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really how it works. I'm sure you guys do the same thing.
No, and I'm thinking, I think with I don't know how is your experience with workers, but I had to conduct some interviews with H2A workers. It was on tobacco fields. An H2A worker comes with a different, they're not, I mean, they come because they brought them here through a contract, right? And so sometimes they said we're trying two tobacco varieties, and one was probably was lighter and easier to handle. And then the worker said, we'll do whatever the boss wants us to do. Like basically, they're not going to be as open because they're here on a contract and they don't want to bring them next year. So we probably need to, I like your point. I'm just thinking out loud, how are we going to question to get to the true answer?
So you narrow it to H2A only.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is not, I mean, H1B visa in my field, they come in, they take any job
Yeah, yeah.
for H1B.
Yeah, yeah,
And the companies exploit that. Be very frank about it.
yeah. But
So,
that's an excellent
but
point.
it's
Yeah, it's an excellent point.
general employment is what I'm asking. I wasn't talking about H2A at all. I was just,
Yeah. Another, we have a follow-up.
You're saying, would you take a position that had less money if you were gonna have an easier job?
I mean, if I can play football after my shift, working for him and work for other guy, I can't play football after the game. Hey, I'm there
Yeah, yeah.
because I know I'm gonna be playing, number one. Number two, I have the stamina. I'm gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
And the word's gonna get around whether you like it or not. Right? It will get around.
Excellent. Okay.
So now when we move to the technology, and we're still on the worker, but let's talk about adoption of the technology. So that you get more advanced technologies. What we found is if you take and teach the workers the fundamentals of why, how it works, how it functions, they're more acceptable to it. The second thing you want to do with technology is don't overload them with all its facets at once. So use the crawl, walk, run method. Teach them the first set, let them fly the plane. Let them get used to it. Then teach them a second set, and then teach them a third set that might be more complex.
Thank you. Just to wrap up, what are you most excited about of this second? Like whatever research we come out, if we come next year, are you excited to see? Like how many of you comparing your own service with whatever we get?
Number one rule, and I followed that, and this is the advice I was given. I was talking to her about it. One advice I got the day I started, my chairman said, "Don't assume everything you were told is true." They tell you. So you yourself make an assumption. How do you know your assumptions are right?
Oh no, we're going with like this is new to us, so this is more exploratory.
Okay. So what I was going to say is, if you're going with the assumption, question the assumption. That's what I was going to say.
We're gonna be testing the assumptions. Okay, yeah.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So, this Diffusion of Innovation book, it's a great book. I'm not sure about that.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'm really thankful for the feedback, and let's see what we hear from the workers themselves. Hopefully they will want to talk to me. All right. That's it.
I'm real happy with the direction the LEAP is going. You're tackling some of the most important issues out here. Inventory management, production, automation, human interaction in our industry. If you sum up everything about our industry, that's almost all of it. Until you get into the office, get into sales. You've taken something that was a fledgling idea here 3 or 4 years ago when you started, and you're actually going down several different paths in the right direction. As a grower and as an initial person who was involved with this, I am extremely pleased to see where this organization is going, and I'm hopeful for the future. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
He's a lot. Doesn't normally hold back. This round concludes our annual meeting. Have it again next month. If you're home stage in year 4, it'll probably be far west. We can get a little bit of we'll be contacting you for we'll have demos of various groceries in your area. Research probably after and we'll be inviting you to our for thank you all for giving us your time. We really appreciate it.